Miss Weaver was our teacher. Her voice sounded like a dull hum, like an old fan that needed oiling. She always wore beige, maybe to match her beige personality. Every day was the same history, geography, sums. My mind would wander far away from the dusty classroom. I'd think about pirates with parrots on their shoulders, or brave knights fighting dragons. Miss Weaver never noticed. One particularly dreary afternoon, Miss Weaver was droning on about the monsoons. The rain outside seemed to match her voice, steady, monotonous, and a little bit depressing. I was busy drawing a rhinoceros wearing a tutu in my notebook. Suddenly, a flash of green caught my eye. It was a frog, but not just any frog. This frog was wearing tiny, round spectacles. He sat on the windowsill, peering into the classroom with an air of great seriousness. My jaw dropped. I forgot all about the rhinoceros ballerina. I had never seen anything so peculiar. The frog adjusted his glasses with a webbed finger, and I swear he winked at me. Before I could even think of telling anyone, the frog hopped onto Miss Weaver's desk. He sat there, right on top of her lesson plans, staring at her with an intensity that rivaled my own when I wanted another serving of dessert. Miss Weaver, oblivious as ever, continued talking about wind patterns and rainfall. The frog cleared his throat. At least I think that's what the croaking sound was, and in a surprisingly loud voice said, "Excuse me, madam, but this lesson is terribly boring." The entire class gasped. Even the quietest children, who wouldn't say a word if a tiger walked in, were wide-eyed with surprise. Miss Weaver finally stopped talking and looked down at her desk. Her eyes widened, her mouth formed a perfect O, and for the first time since I had known her, she looked, well, interesting. The frog continued, his voice surprisingly clear and commanding for a creature his size. "This classroom," he boomed, "needs more excitement, more adventure, more ribbit learning experiences." Then he did something even more unexpected. He jumped onto Miss Weaver's head and perched there like a bizarre, bespectacled hat. From that moment on, things were different. Miss Weaver, perhaps inspired by the frog's boldness, or maybe just traumatized by the whole experience, began to change her lessons. We went on imaginary expeditions to the Amazon rainforest, built miniature volcanoes in science class, and even acted out scenes from Shakespeare with sock puppets. School, once a predictable bore, became a place of wonder and excitement. And it was all thanks to a little green frog with a pair of spectacles and a penchant for speaking his mind.